You thought joining the Adventurers Guild would be thrilling. Glory, gold, and tavern girls who know your name. But no one tells you about the moldy bedroll, the half-rotten rations, or the way your name doesn't even make it onto the roster until someone dies. Welcome to the ancient Adventurers Guild, where heroes didn't rise. They limped, they bled, and they vanished. And you're the newest recruit. Congratulations. Your boots are already soaked with something, and the job board hasn't stopped creaking since you arrived. You wake up to the sound of rats fighting under your cot. The guild hall smells like dust and old leather, maybe mold too. You're not entirely sure anymore. The scent has soaked into everything. Your boots, your bedroll, your lungs. It's colder than it should be, which means the hearth hasn't been lit. Again, your back cracks as you sit up, and you wonder, not for the first time, why you joined the guild in the first place. It wasn't for the gold. That's the first lie they tell you. Riches beyond imagining, said the recruiter with the too white smile. All you've got beyond imagining are your unpaid debts, a dented helmet, and a scar on your thigh that still smells like swamp rot when it rains. You lace up your boots. The laces snap. Of course they do. You tie a knot and hope you don't have to run today. Outside the sleeping quarters, the main hall is almost empty. A few others sit hunched at the long tables. Crusts of bread, cracked mugs, no one making eye contact. You nod to one of them. He nods back, vaguely. You've seen him before. Probably. Maybe. That's how it is here. You're all replaceable. No one asks your name because no one wants to remember it when it's carved into the back wall 2 days later. You shuffle over to the job board. It leans slightly left. The parchment tacked to it curls at the edges, stained with something that could be wine, blood, or both. The ink has run in places. Most of the jobs are already taken. A smug scribble marks them claimed. But one catches your eye. Collapsed ruin, South Ridge, unexplored. Map fragment found on deceased explorer. Reward, modest. Modest. That's the second lie they tell you. Modest means, if you survive, we might cover your burial. You grab the parchment and turn towards the quartermaster's station. He's asleep. Again. Head back, mouth open, snoring softly behind a crooked iron cage. You knock once on the wood. His eye twitches, but he doesn't wake. So you reach through, grab a rope, a rusted lantern, and a short sword that smells like vinegar. You leave a copper on the counter out of pity, not honor. You step out into the world. The wind bites immediately. It carries the scent of burnt wood and distant dung. Your boots crunch over frost-cracked earth as you head toward the South Ridge. Nobody says goodbye. Nobody ever does. The ridge is 3 miles out. Longer if you're dragging your feet, which you are. It's not that you're scared necessarily, more like tired. You haven't even started, and already you feel it in your bones. That quiet ache, like a warning. You pass the old stone watchtower, crumbled now, half swallowed by ivy and time. A murder of crows roost there, watching you pass with those shiny black eyes that always seem like they know something you don't. You mutter a curse under your breath. The wind carries it away. By the time you reach the ruin, the sun is low. Shadows stretch like long fingers across the hillside. You light your lantern and descend into the pit. It smells like damp earth and dead things. Naturally, the entrance is half buried, a yawning crack in the ground barely wide enough for your shoulders. You wiggle through it like a worm, scraping your pack on the rocks. Once inside, it's dark, the kind of darkness that feels heavy, like it's leaning against your chest. Your lantern flickers. You do not like that. Still, you move forward. The ruin opens into a wide hall. Tiles crack under your feet. Mosaics line the walls. Chipped, faded, but still strange and beautiful. Men with spears. Beasts with too many eyes. A golden figure holding a scroll. You squint at the writing. You can't read it, of course. Nobody can. It's older than the guild, older than the city, older than sense. You mark your path with chalk as you were taught. Not that anyone will follow it. Not that anyone ever comes back for you. In the next room, you find what's left of the last adventurer. He's more skeleton than man now, slumped against a collapsed pillar. His satchel is intact. Inside is a torn map, a broken stylus, and a water skin filled with something that was once probably wine. You drink it anyway. You try not to gag. You fail. You look at the map. It leads deeper in, naturally. You crawl through tunnels, climb broken stairs, squeeze between jagged stone, every moment feeling more like a worm and less like a person. Your shoulders ache. Your fingers are scraped raw. At one point, your lantern sputters out completely, and you sit in the dark, listening to your own breath, and wondering if this is it. But it isn't. You find the main chamber. It's vast. Columns rise like bones from the floor. A broken statue of some forgotten god watches you from the shadows. One eye missing, mouth chipped into a grimace. At the center is a stone pedestal, and on it, a single object wrapped in rotted cloth. You step forward. It's a scroll, or was. Whatever wisdom it once held has been devoured by mold and rats. You pick it up. It crumbles in your hand. Well, that's anticlimactic. You sit. You breathe. You think about the guild again, how they make it sound glorious. The posters with bright ink, the speeches, the ceremony when you joined. The way they handed you a rusted sword and said, "Welcome, hero." And here you are, covered in filth, alone, holding dust. That's what they don't tell you. Guild life isn't about adventure. It's about the long walks back, the quiet funerals, the silence at breakfast, the names you forget because it's easier than remembering who didn't make it. You rise, slowly. Everything aches. You leave the ruin. By the time you see the guild hall again, the sky is pink with morning. You're limping. Your pack is empty. You have nothing to show for the last 2 days but sore muscles and another scar. The quartermaster doesn't look up when you enter. He just slides you a half loaf of bread and a mug of something warm. You eat without tasting it. Someone new sits at the far table. Fresh armor, shiny boots, a look of hope on his face. Poor bastard. You lie down on your cot. You stare at the rafters, and somewhere, rats fight beneath you again. And that, dear listener, is why the ancient Adventurers Guild was where heroes went to die. Not with glory, not with fanfare, but quietly, alone, underpaid, forgotten. So sleep well. And maybe don't sign up.